This is not a drill. A pro-Palestine group has broken into one of Britain's most secure military bases, RAF Brize Norton, and reportedly damaged 2 military aircraft. The group behind the incursion, Palestine Action. And they're not hiding it. In fact, they're boasting about what they've done, claiming they've decommissioned military planes and even managed to escape without being caught. So how on earth did it come to this? And what does it say about national security, public anger over the war in Gaza, and Britain's growing role in the conflict? Let's break it down. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. The break-in happened at RAF Brize Norton, the largest station in the Royal Air Force. This is not some quiet outpost, it's a critical hub. Flights from Brize Norton regularly depart to RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus, a key strategic base for operations across the Middle East. According to Palestine Action, 2 of their activists breached the base. They reportedly rode in on electric scooters, yes, scooters, before vandalizing 2 aircraft, spraying red paint directly into their engines. They claim they also planted a Palestinian flag at the scene as a statement. No arrests, no trace. Palestine Action says the perpetrators escaped undetected. That in itself is staggering. A major RAF base breached by activists on scooters, and they just walked away. This is a group that has made headlines before for targeting facilities linked to the defense industry, particularly those supplying equipment to Israel. Their tactics are direct, confrontational, and increasingly bold. In a statement, the group declared, "Despite publicly condemning the Israeli government, Britain continues to send military cargo, fly spy planes over Gaza, and refuel US-Israeli fighter jets. Britain isn't just complicit, it's an active participant in the Gaza genocide." They went even further, claiming that by damaging the planes, they've intervened to break the chains of oppression. In their eyes, this wasn't just vandalism. It was a political act of sabotage against what they see as British complicity in war crimes. This dramatic incident comes amid escalating tensions in the Middle East. Just last week, the conflict between Israel and Iran intensified, and Gaza is increasingly being described by the Israeli military as a secondary front. Iran is now seen as the primary adversary in a widening regional war. Back in Gaza, the humanitarian toll is staggering. Over 55,000 Palestinians have been killed, and around 2 million displaced, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. This follows the brutal October 7th attacks by Hamas, where 1,200 people were killed and 250 hostages taken, with approximately 50 still in captivity. The violence hasn't just stayed overseas, it's rippling through British society. Pro-Palestinian protests have been erupting across the country, especially in London, where a major rally is once again scheduled for this weekend. Earlier this year, 77 people were arrested during another protest in central London, showing just how high tensions are running here at home. The break-in at RAF Brize Norton raises serious questions on multiple fronts. First, national security. How did a pair of protesters on scooters manage to breach a top-level RAF base, vandalize aircraft, plant a flag, and vanish without trace? What does that say about base security in a time of escalating global conflict? Second, public perception and political pressure. Whether you agree with Palestine Action's methods or not, their actions reflect a growing frustration among activists and sections of the public who believe Britain is actively enabling Israel's military operations, despite public statements to the contrary. Third, government response. So far, official comment has been minimal, but the longer silence drags on, the more explosive this becomes, not just in terms of public safety, but also politically. Is this a one-off or a sign of things to come? When a group like Palestine Action can get into a military base, damage government assets, and walk away unchallenged, it's not just a story about protest anymore. It's a story about what happens when political outrage spills over into direct action, and when the line between activism and sabotage begins to blur. Whether the government wants to admit it or not, Britain's role in the Middle East is under the spotlight like never before. And this time, it's not just a debate in Parliament. It's playing out on the tarmac of a Royal Air Force base. Stay tuned, this story isn't over. In other news, Reform UK has vowed a day of political reckoning over Britain's migrant crisis is coming following a damning report on French police failures on the country's Channel coast. Images emerged from Gravelines, France, on Wednesday showed an older man on crutches hobbling to a dinghy as legions of French officers looked on. Armed border guards were seen hurling tear gas grenades and pursuing asylum seekers into the water, but under soon-to-be scrapped laws, they were unable to accost them once in the sea. Once in the channel, even up to the ankles, police will touch neither them nor their dinghies through fear of harming them, while police have told the Daily Mail that there are too many migrants and too much shoreline on France's north coast for them to be stopped. Now, Reform's deputy leader Richard Tice has voiced his fury at the footage. The disgraceful invasion continues, he fumed. These pictures infuriate Britain, he continued. French gendarmes laughing as they take our money, illegal migrants coming to take our money. A day of political reckoning is coming. Only Reform will stop the boats. Tory peer Lord Gove has confirmed that Whitehall officials attempted to cover up grooming gangs as far back as 2011. Speaking to GB News, Gove has backed Dominic Cummings' claims that he rejected advice from Department for Education officials who suggested blocking journalists from publishing reports of abuse in Rotherham. Dominic's account is broadly absolutely correct, Gove revealed. Andrew Norfolk, the very brave and sadly deceased reporter at the Times, who was responsible more than anyone for initially uncovering the grooming gang scandal, had been investigating Rotherham. It was the case that he wanted to publish details that related to one particularly tragic case. Rotherham Metropolitan Borough Council at the time didn't want the full details revealed. The council approached the government and the Department for Education, where I was Secretary of State at the time, and asked us to join them in a legal case in order to prevent the Times publishing the story, Gove said. A Tory frontbencher has delivered a damning verdict on Labour's fake call to reform the ECHR after Shabana Mahmood told the European Council it must evolve in a speech in Strasbourg yesterday. Mahmood, the Justice Secretary, warned Brussels bigwigs that the convention has too often been used in ways that frustrate deportation, even where there are serious concerns about credibility, fairness and risk to the public. But now, Shadow Education Minister Neil O'Brien has warned that such reforms will never happen. As the Channel situation deteriorates, as Starmer admits, panicking Labour ministers have started babbling about ECHR reform, he said. It will never happen, strategic eyewash for fools and utterly fake. The only real bit is Mahmood saying, the UK is resolutely committed to the ECHR. As Ed West notes, all collapsing regimes start promising the crowd reform way too late in the day. Shadow Foreign Secretary Priti Patel has warned Labour against hiding behind legal advice at a time of crisis as the fallout over Lord Hermer's concerns on Iran continues. I don't think we can hide behind legal advice at a time of crisis and national security when we have to work alongside our biggest ally in the world, the United States, when they look to us for potentially setting out operational activities through our own military bases, she told Times Radio. Patel had earlier confirmed the Conservatives will support Labour if the government decides to pursue military action against Iran, and said the opposition would not call for it to be put to a vote. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you have not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.